This is a short video on formula writing basics. For this formula writing basics, we're going to only talk about a few columns. So we call these columns the tall columns because, as you can see, this section of the periodic table here is a shorter section. So we're going to only be talking about the section that we call the tall section. So that's going to include these two columns over here that I've highlighted in blue, one over here that I've highlighted in blue, and these three over here that I've highlighted in pink. Now the reason I've highlighted them in blue and pink will come to light later, but right now those are the main categories that we're going to talk about. For this PowerPoint, we're going to assign some values, and these are memorized facts. This column is a +1, this is a +2, and this is a +3. And that is the type of charge that that particular column will have, which is a result of it giving away either 1, 2, or 3 electrons when it makes a formula. The other part of the chart that we're going to talk about, I told you, was going to be this section over here, which is highlighted here in pink. That section has a charge of -1, -2, and -3. Okay, so we've got +1, +2, +3, and then if you count from the opposite side, -1, -2, -3. Those are the elements that are in the plus columns off the periodic table, and when you write formulas, you'll have access to a periodic table. And those are the elements that are in the pink section, and each one of these elements that are on this section will end up in the second location when you're writing a formula. For example, sodium chloride. The chloride is in the second spot, and you'll notice I ended it in "ide" even though the element itself is chlorine. Let's start with this formula. It is a formula between the element lithium and the element sulfur. But remember, we said that when it becomes the second element, it ends in IDE. So you'll notice I've ended that in IDE. To do that, you first look up where they are on the periodic table. Lithium was in the first column, so it was in the +1, and sulfur is in the second to the last column that I highlighted over there, so it's a -2. So lithium sulfide is the name of the formula we're going to be writing. So lithium +1, S -2. The first thing that you do is you see that there are charges there. Those will crisscross, so the 2 goes down over here on this side, and the 1 will be over on this side. Okay, so they get crisscrossed. They don't have charges anymore. They're just the number 2 and the number 1. And next, we don't write number 1s. If you didn't have at least one element of the element sulfur, you wouldn't have written an S. So the 1 is understood. So I've got an Li, and I have 2 of them for 1 S. So that is because Li had a +1 charge, and it takes 2 Li's to balance out the charge of 1 S. 2 Li's will balance out the charge of 1 S. So I've got calcium selenide. Calcium is from the +2 column. Selenium is from the -2 column. They both have a 2 charge. So what would happen is they crisscross, they become 2's. 2's then get reduced because they both can be divided by 2, and so they have an LCM, and it ends up being a 1-to-1 ratio. And remember, we don't write 1s, so the 1-to-1 ratio becomes Ca and up Se. That's kind of a typo there. We'll fix that up right now. That is A S E, and of course that should have been a red. All right, so I've got magnesium nitride. Mg is out of the +2 column, N is out of the -3 column. I crisscross them, and you can't divide 2 and 3 by any LCM, so the 3 stays a 3 and the 2 stays a 2. I've got Li and Cl. Li is from the +1 column, Cl is from the -1 column. That's a 1-to-1 ratio, and we don't write ones, so that just becomes LiCl. Calcium bromide. Calcium's out of the +2 column, Br is out of the -1 column. They get crisscrossed, that there. It becomes Ca gets the 1, Br gets the 2, and I don't write ones. That's it. That's all there is to writing formulas.